All right, folks, you have two major institutions that really help our HBCUs. One, of course, the United Negro College Fund, and the other is the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, which helps predominantly black institutions, those public institutions. Well, Johnny Taylor is their CEO, and I recently chatted with him as well as John Hardin, Director of University Relations for the Charles Koch Foundation, about an initiative that they are launching. You hear it first right here on NewsOne Now TV 1.
Well, it starts with $25.6 million. We're going to announce today the unveiling of a new center, the Center for Advancing Opportunity. Roland, it's funded by the Koch Industries and the Charles Koch Foundation, first of its kind initiative to begin listening to the African American community and other fragile communities. So what we're really excited about is that it's an unveiling of a new initiative that will be led by HBCU students and faculty. And the focus is going to be on identifying and removing barriers for opportunity for members of fragile communities. Fragile communities is a phrase that we've come up with that we're going to use more and more. It's not poor, it's not disadvantaged. The whole notion is that where there are communities where if we could just remove arbitrary barriers, then these people could really enjoy success and enjoy the opportunities that America has to offer.
So what does this center look like? I mean, what is it? I mean, is it a physical center? Is it happening at different campuses around the country? I mean, so what is it?
It's a combination. It'll be headquartered here in Washington, D.C. on 9th and F in our headquarters building, and then we will have campus facilities as well, campus centers. And the campus centers will initially be at 3 HBCU campuses to be determined. We're getting ready to identify them. And then we're going to roll out as many of these as the community is willing to accept. We're ultimately trying to find out what are those things that are creating barriers for people in our community.
So John, why is Koch Foundation doing this?
Yeah, we're doing it because we believe in the transformative power of education, same as TMCF. So Charles Koch's been supporting higher education now for over half a century because we believe that education is the place where people have a phenomenal opportunity, right, to discover and develop their unique skills, their talents, and their abilities that they can then use to improve other people's lives, their own lives, and society. So when Johnny came to us with this vision for this center, for the Center for Advancing Opportunity, we were really excited. TMCF's been doing this for nearly 30 years. It's exciting to see the impact they're having on students. So what a phenomenal opportunity for us to be able to provide the funding so they can make it happen.
And when you talk about that, and so is that what role will you have beyond just funding this?
Yeah, our role is funding this, right? That's what it's about, is providing the resources to TMCF, because TMCF's got the expertise in this space. You know, I mean, we were at the TMCF gala not long ago, started out with Peebo Bryson singing Beauty and the Beast. Johnny comes out to transition, and you think, like, where's he going to go? How do you move from Beauty and the Beast to a TMCF fundraiser? And I love it. It says, look, the beauty's education, the beast is money. This is an opportunity for us to help tame that beast, provide funding so that TMCF can keep doing the beautiful things that they're doing in education.
So when we talk about this center, well, what will it actually do?
Yes, so the center is going to do 3 things. First of all, we're going to provide scholarships, undergraduate research scholarships as well as graduate scholarships. We've got to find and grow the next group pipeline of talent for HBCU faculty to actually study these issues. Then we're going to actually every year convene, and I hope you're there, expect you to be there, thought leaders, and we will have a summit, Advancing Opportunity Summit. We're really going to, you know, you've been to these conferences where everyone says the state of Black America, the state of this, but they don't have data. It's not data informed, and to the extent it is majority schools. That's the big difference here. Typically, and you know, I will tell you, I went to the Advanced in Justice Summit, which was hosted by the Koch Foundation, Charles Koch Foundation, and they had, God bless them, really well-intended white schools studying Ferguson. And that's when I just had to come apart, and I said, we've got to allow our community to tell you what's happening in our community. HBCUs can't be absent from that conversation. We have Harris-Stowe State University, which is 45 minutes away from Ferguson, and you have majority schools studying what happened in Ferguson and what are the barriers to the community there. So this is an opportunity to showcase the social scientists that we have on HBCU campuses to solve 3 issues initially: education, criminal justice reform, and entrepreneurialism. Those are going to be the 3 initial areas of focus for the center.
John, I asked you, and so at the before the gala on the Thurgood Marshall Fund met here in D.C., there was a Q&A with Charles Koch.
Right.
Why has the Koch Foundation identified this? Also, previously there was an announcement with the UNCF as well. And so, what has been the impetus behind it? When did this really start?
Mm-hmm. Well, we've been supporting colleges and universities for decades, and among those colleges and universities have been HBCUs, scholars and students at those HBCUs. And so we're always looking for more opportunities to continue supporting any number of schools. We think the more schools and more scholars and more students, as Johnny was saying, that are part of the conversation, the better. And so when UNCF, when TMCF, when they come to us, say, look, we've got a vision, we've got an idea of how we can expand access to opportunities for education, then we're excited to enter into that conversation, and then we're really excited because it's worked out so well that we can support both.
Roland, I think the key, too, is they didn't come to us. There was
Right.
not some big RFP. Charles Koch and John and others, their president, didn't find us. We reached out. I literally, one morning, was listening to the news and overheard a conversation where Mr. Koch was talking about criminal justice reform. Literally. I went back to my office, wrote him a letter, and said, if you're serious about it and you want to talk to experts in criminal justice reform, specifically with respect to the African-American community, you must be talking to HBCUs. 3 days later, he responded. Cold. And I said, we have some ideas. And he said, well, let's come in and determine whether or not we have alignment. And we did. It was around education reform, criminal justice reform, and entrepreneurialism. If we get those 3 things right, we're not going to totally change these fragile communities, but we're going to make major progress.
How do you handle, we were seeing this recently with, of course, Talladega College,
yes.
the whole deal with the inauguration parade. Also, when the UNCF made their announcement, there were some criticisms there. How do you handle that, where you have critics who will say, well, Johnny, Koch brothers have funded initiatives against African Americans, and so how do you deal with that? Because I mean, look, that's right. It's going to come up.
That's the elephant in the room, right? Ultimately, they've got to trust that after 30 years and a long-term commitment to the HBCU space, we're not going to be used by anyone. And in fact, the Charles Koch Foundation doesn't desire to use us. We came to them and said, here's a problem facing our community. We are mission-oriented, but the reality is you can't have mission without money. And it takes money to get this work done. They are studying fragile communities anyway. I just mentioned other schools are doing it. University of Chicago, Columbia, everyone's studying fragile communities. University of Pennsylvania and those folks. But no one's talking to HBCUs. We're not involved in the conversation. It takes money. Our schools can't just go out and do it without resources. So you pointed out in the beginning, the Charles Koch Foundation is capital. Financial capital. We are the human capital. And so everyone in the world who's concerned about it should know that the HBCUs are not going to be compromised. No one's telling us what to do because the money's written. We are an independent academic center.
Final comment.
I would just say that I think what's so exciting and part about this partnership is to your question, it gives folks the opportunity to see what we're really about at the Koch Foundation, which Johnny can tell you. What we're really about is supporting education. What TMCF is doing is so exciting, and we are thrilled to be a part of it now, to be providing resources that they can continue to scale up and have a tremendous impact in students and scholars and citizens' lives.
All right, Johnny, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, then.
Thanks.
Kickstart your day at 7 and get the news you need from the perspective you want. NewsOne Now with Roland Martin, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.